I grew up Catholic, so
yeah, so
I'm
she's
definitely
got,
more
she's
right.
got kind of the she's kind of that like religious, super like hyper religious background. I don't know. I think originally I thought that I would be the more conservative. Never
I'd
mind.
like to say I'm more socially liberal, but
No.
sometimes I just can't get on the bandwagon with that.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Well, like, no, I mean, I think, like, gay marriage, like, everyone should marry whoever they want. Like, I guess that's not a very Catholic belief. Well, honestly, though, I don't think the government should be super involved with marriage as they are now. Like, okay, do you know who Ben Shapiro is? Like, the way he explains it is so amazing. Like, look that up. But I guess with, like, I don't know. I mean, what else is there socially, like, liberal?
Social liberalism is like abortion.
Pro-life. I'm very pro-life.
Yeah,
like,
see?
I'm not a pro-choice kind of person.
Why is that important to you?
Well, I just think it's like everyone's like, oh, humanitarian, like, oh my God, you know, human rights, like, but killing babies is a human right. Like, I think it's just super contradictory. So it's like, if you're gonna say like, you know, rights for humans and stuff, then but you're killing.
What would you say? What would you
babies?
say? What would you say? What would you say about a scenario where, and we've all heard it. We've all heard it. So I want to say it. What would you say about the scenario where it's like health complications, like, you know, mama
Rape
bear might die,
victims.
you know, or something like
Rape
that. Who I posted. I'm also very pro-life-esque, so to speak.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I had one lady who challenged my idea that I'd posted on social media, in a friendly way.
Oh, okay,
like
cool.
super cool. Yeah, no, she's a super cool lady. Super smart lady. I guess as a male, I can't. What I'm not gonna do is try and act like I know the answer to those problems, because I can never simply understand. I wouldn't even. I'm not even the same gender as somebody who would be in that scenario, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be like your thought on maybe like a mom who's in a physical state where it can't support whatever, or something.
Yeah,
one
I
or the
think
other
because
type of
part
thing,
of me, like, no, I want to say like, oh, like obviously like. It's hard because it's like, what do you choose? Some part of me just says like, let nature take its course, like, you know.
And you don't believe that abortion should be legal?
Yeah, there's
basically.
some situations where it's like they either abort the fetus or the mom and the fetus like die.
Yeah.
Like there's situations like that where it's like you can either like terminate the pregnancy or you're both gonna die, like, or you're both likely to die.
I've talked about this with my dad. My dad's a doctor, and I've talked about it with him, like abortion, like birth control too, because like obviously like birth control is like a no-go in like Catholicism. So my dad, on the other hand, like I think my dad's definitely more pro-life, but he does think like, you know, like God put us here for a reason, like to better ourselves, like whether it's like medically and stuff. Like my dad thinks like people should be on birth control. Like he thinks that's okay, kind of, even though that's not really a Catholic thing, I guess. Just because he says like, why should you have all these kids and not be able to raise them?
Well, the Bible was also written in a time when there was maybe 20,000 people on the earth.
We'll get there.
Trillions.
We'll get there.
Yeah, but anyway,
we'll get there. That's okay. Yes.
But
sorry, that's just like a whole nother direction.
Yeah. But so I don't. It's such a sticky situation because it's like, who am I to tell people like how to live their life? But like most people like are pro-life and stuff because, you know, they're, no offense, like, you know, having all this sex and getting pregnant
pro-choice?
And knowingly that, oh, I can't afford to have this baby. Oh, but I'll just abort it. It's fine. That's why a lot of people want it that. I think most people that I know think it's okay.
Yeah, but that's a $300 price. It's still mad expensive.
I've known people who've gotten it done multiple times. So, I mean, it doesn't stop them.
Jeez, okay.
So, I mean, that's my problem with it. Like, you're just doing it and knowing like, okay, like sex like makes kids, guys, like that's not revolutionary. Like that you're doing it and you're getting pregnant.
For me, there's a couple of things that I think kind of argue into it. For me, I think for one, it's I think that there's this one thing that sticks out in my mind, and it's from this book that I read that was called Freakonomics. It's like this one of the big places that they saw the drop in crime was like in New York, and a lot of people blamed it on the police force in New York. But the economists took a look at how much they put into the police force, and they didn't really see any type of trend that would like explain for how they were able to get rid of all this crime. Well, except for 18 years earlier was Roe v. Wade. There may be some argument to the idea that a lot of these kids that would have been born into families that just could not afford them or couldn't support them, families that wouldn't care for them, families that would put them
Roe v. Wade, meaning there were less abortions able to happen.
Right, meaning that people weren't able to abort fetuses before Roe v. Wade, but then when they were, once abortion was legalized, there was
a drop in crime.
There was a drop in crime 18 years
That's
later.
some eugenics type shit we're getting into.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy, but like there is. So
what's your thought?
Well, I mean, it's the idea.
I think it's because society has leaned
another,
more out. There's no religion in society. Like there's reasons why I think. That's a reason. It's a societal issue.
I would be totally.
It's
I would
not
be totally. I'd be totally against
more
abortion.
Of a legal issue.
Okay, so
that makes sense.
So I'm going to moderate this just a little bit to extend on the thought where you were just going there. I want to see where that thought was going.
So no, well, because he's saying like, oh, well, like now that abortion, like crime is better and stuff, but it's like it's. I think our generation's a more societal issue. Like no one goes to church anymore, believes in God. Like I mean, obviously you go to church. God bless, that's awesome. But like, yeah. How many people other than you and like me that go to church regularly on a basis?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
I know
it's
a
not
small
that many.
handful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much. So, and I think once like society like started taking religion out of stuff, like things started getting chaotic, and maybe abortion did help, but two wrongs make a right at that point. That's how I feel about it. Like I think just people just lost sight of like why they're here and like their purpose in life.
I think I would totally be against it if I knew that our like.
Why do you think? Wait, so
if I knew our adoption.
I'm sorry. One
system,
sec. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You're good. You're totally fine.
How do we tie it? So can you like conclude that thought for a second? So how does that tie in with abortion?
So like I was saying, like. Okay, so like when there's not like a lot of religion in society now these days, and like people are like, oh, like I don't need to go to church and like follow religion and just do whatever I want, and then like I'm getting all these people pregnant and like I can't afford it and stuff. But like I feel like if they had religion, like that wouldn't be an issue technically, if that makes sense. I think that's a bad example, but do you kind of get what I'm saying?
Like you're saying that their morals would like
their morals,
it would like
it's a
force
moral,
them.
It's a moral issue.
I mean, I agree. I think
it's not a legal issue.
I think that when people become less religious, morals become less concrete. Like everybody shares the exact same morals, and like they kind of it kind of breaks down whenever you don't have like because religion is the one law. Like everybody had to follow that one thing, and now that that's kind of breaking apart, it's like, well, we should start changing the laws. And it's like now it's like, well, what does everybody follow? Like we're now able to exactly like where does morals and our own rules. We can come up with our own genders. We can come up with our own rules. We can as pedophiles we can say that we should be part of the LGBTQ community. Like there's a whole bunch of shit like that. I mean absolutely. I would say that with the breakdown of religion, you do see that people are kind of shifting in their morals, but. So I do get that point, but I think I would be totally against abortion if I knew that our adoption system worked well, but like that doesn't work well
right.
at all.
No,
there's a lot of people that are born into like
it.
poverty. Yeah, it's there's a lot of issues to it. I just don't think it's my place to say whether or not it's right or wrong. I think there's arguments to both sides.
I have some really great friends, about three people that I can name right off the top of my head, who are completely adopted, who are completely in the adoption system.
Yeah,
it works well sometimes, but then there's like in like lower income areas and stuff.
Neither of them, all three of them, did not have a good experience in that system.
Really,
the one person has her own brand and business and enjoys life and has a heart for God and a heart for Jesus. The second one is a good friend of mine who is now doing fairly, pretty well for himself. He's coming up. He's finding himself in life. And then, the third one, similar story. So then, because my thought on it would be, it's like, you're right. The adoption system probably isn't that good, but neither is the education system. Neither is the political system. Neither is the food system.
It just takes that one person.
Neither is the jail. I've been to jail, so like neither is the jail system. It's not particularly good. I've been to jail. Yeah. Though, and the reason I'm pro-life, right? So on a political level, this guy Josh 40, he put it really well. You might have saw it on my Instagram story. But he said, this is America. Like the whole point of living in America is to have rights to make your own decisions. And say is like on a political level, I think it should be regulated if it's going to exist, which it will continue to exist as long as our society is in the way it is. It is unavoidable. Like even I see like Bible thumpers is what I would call them, because I love Jesus.
Bible thumpers. I call them holy rollers.
Holy rollers. I call them Bible thumpers. And
I love that.
And I see like and I understand it, but having the conversation of getting rid of abortion is just unrealistic, stupid, and quite frankly a fucking waste of time.
Yeah, it's just
because it's always going to be there. So like what's this? So I'm always kind of like a solution based versus like the argument based. I think a lot of people right now are in a state of like contempt where
Yeah,
they're
and
very angry and it's very
they want to get
it's
rid
very
of things
argument based
entirely. Like it's
Versus
like there's no gray area,
Right.
Like, and I think that's across the board. I mean,
Right.
you look
So
at
if other people want to be pro-choice, who the fuck am I? Because I'm not God.
Yeah.
So who the fuck am
Yeah.
I to tell you
You can't
what
be.
which is
Yeah.
right or wrong? Because
Yeah.
I so in the beginning of the Bible, it's like they ate fruit from the fruit of knowledge, from the fruit of knowing, right? And that's not our place to eat from that fruit, right?
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. Is it right or wrong in your situation? To be honest,
not
that's
up to
not my
me.
fucking
Not
call.
up to me,
That's up to you and God, and I'm not going to play that role.
Yeah.
So
Oh, 1,000%.
When you get
people
there,
ask me,
yeah.
when people ask me about rape and incest, like here's the thing. I see it like this. I think that which is another really funny conversation that you guys had on your podcast. But
Yeah.
so my thing is like, okay, I don't know. It's not my right to tell you. It's not my spot to tell you.
Yeah.
The reason we live in America is to be able to make decisions such as this. So
Yeah.
I'm pro-life, for sure, because I believe that every and then there's even crazier cases, like when you think about it, like incest rape, like
I
and the baby
know.
comes out like completely like just, I mean, they're not even like, it's almost like a mutant version of a
No,
human.
exactly.
And there's
Yeah.
shit like that like I don't fucking know, dude.
It's
yeah,
hard.
like,
I don't
that's-
fucking
yeah,
know.
there's
Like,
horror in this
do you let
world
it, like,
that you
do you-
have to like that
Yeah.
like I would never know how to deal
Yeah.
with and stuff like that.
And when people
that's
ask
one
those
of
questions
them.
and when
Yeah.
they get so abrasive, and I think that's the cool thing about the God that I love, because like I don't have to know. It's not my job to know. Like, it's not my job to make that call.
Yeah.
If that's a route that if that's a decision somebody wants to make, like, God gave us the gift of free will. He said you
Yeah,
can
all
Yes.
you can do whatever
Exactly.
you want. However, I love you, so I'm gonna give you a few things maybe you should do along the way. Actually, everything that you should probably do along the way. And here's the instruction manual to do it. But yeah, and I think that a lot of people right now, it's like, so when people bring it up now, and I used to be a lot more like right about it, like, yeah, no, fucking dude, yeah, it's, and I think people are so polarized now, and I think what's maybe the value of like things like this